Hello and welcome to another IELTS speaking lesson. Today I'm going to show you 3 more topics and 4 questions for each topic in IELTS speaking part 1, and these questions are likely to be used in 2020, especially between January and June. So, as I have done before, I will show the topics and each of the questions, and I will give some example answers. So let's get straight into it. The first topic we have is weather. And weather is a general conversation topic anyway that you may talk about on most days. So let's have a look at the question types here. What weather do you like? Well, I like hot weather, hot and sunny weather. I like weather where I can go outside, walk around, and do some activities. I really dislike cold, wet, and rainy weather. So I try to stay in places that have nice sunny weather. Does the weather in your country change a lot? Certainly, yes. In Australia and in the city where I am from, there are the 4 seasons, and even in a day, the weather can change quite dramatically. I prefer to be in a place where the weather is the same most of the time. I don't like having to be prepared for hot and cold weather in the same day or the same week. How does the weather affect your work or studies? I work online, so I work inside usually, so the weather does not affect me. And I don't have to drive to a school or to an office, so I don't have to worry about driving in the rain or driving in very hot weather. So the weather does not really affect my work at all. How many seasons are there where you live? I live in Southeast Asia. It is generally hot most of the time. There's no real winter. There is a rainy season. So I would say there are 2 seasons, dry season and wet season. But most of the time the weather is fairly warm and usually dry. Some rain in the rainy season, of course. Okay, so the weather, obviously, the weather is different in most places, so your answers are going to be different. But become familiar talking about the weather, not just for IELTS, for general conversation. People will ask you about it. It's good to know, and it's good to be able to have some, chit-chat about the weather, something neutral. Now, let's move on to the next topic that may be used this year, and it is walking. Okay? Something you may not talk about so often. Do you walk every day? Yes, I do. I live in quite a small area, so I don't need to take public transport or even to ride. I walk to most places. So every day I would say I walk for between 5 and 10 kilometers. Walk to a coffee shop, walk to a restaurant, I walk to the supermarket, I even walk to the beach. So I do quite a lot of walking just as part of my day. Where and why do you walk? As I said, I walk to get to the places I use every day. I do walk a little bit for exercise. If I want to go to the beach, I'll walk there, but mostly I walk to get a meal or to go and have a coffee or to meet a friend. So I walk as a way of transport and a little bit as exercise. Do you walk more now than when you were a child? I would say I do. When I was a child, I certainly rode my bicycle a lot. I still ride my bicycle a little bit now, but as a child, I walked less than what I do now. And as I said, I walk for transport, so that's the main reason that I walk. But when I was a child, going to school was all done by bicycle. What benefits do you get from walking? I think the main benefit that I get, and the reason I walk so much, is not having to worry about the traffic, not having to worry about parking of a motorbike or a car, not having to wait for taxis or buses. I go when I want to go, and I can take my time. So I think the main benefit is avoiding some problems with traffic. Of course, there are health benefits, and I get to know my community, or I get to know the area where I am living by walking around it more. Okay, so stop with that topic of walking. Again, become familiar with it. It's not an unusual topic. It's something that should be easy. You can't say, oh, I never walk. Everybody walks. So you can't say that the topic is difficult. It's maybe not a common topic for you to talk about, but it's something that you can do and something that you do. Now, let's talk about a more abstract topic for the last one, and that is art. Something I'm not so interested in, but we have to do it anyway. You can't choose them, so let's see. Do you like art? Well, art is not something I really think about. I do appreciate some things which are considered art. I appreciate a good painting or a drawing or nice music or a dance performance, but I don't go out looking for it. I don't specifically say, I'm going to look at art today. If I see something that's nice, that's enough for me. I don't make a big deal about it. Do you often visit art galleries or museums? No. So as I said, if I come across art, then that's great. Will I go out of my way to attend a gallery or a museum showing art? No, I won't. I do visit museums more for the history side of things, not so much about the art. Do you have any art in your home? Not really, and it's certainly not art I choose. If it's been furnished by the owner of the house, then there will be art, but it's not something that I make a decision about. I'm not so into it. It doesn't need to be a part of my life, so I'm not fussed. If there's a nice painting or a terrible painting, it doesn't really bother me. It's not something I focus on. Have you ever thought about becoming an artist? Well, when I was a kid, like most kids, I liked to draw and paint. I drew quite a lot, but I guess I kind of grew out of that, and that became less important and less enjoyable for me. So I would say no. I've never really thought about becoming an artist. I think I'm more of a practical person than an artistic person. I appreciate art at times, but it's not something that I will go out of my way to see. Okay, so there, especially that topic, you can see it's not something I'm interested in. I don't know a lot about it. I don't really enjoy art, but I can answer the questions. I can give 2 sentences. And that's what it's about. They don't care if you like something or you don't like it. They don't care if you know a lot about the topic. It's not about that. Language. Can you say that you don't like it and why? Can you explain why you don't have art in your home? Okay, it's not about liking or disliking or being interesting. I didn't give any great information about art because I don't know it. I gave my personal responses. So regardless of the topic, if it's something you do or don't do, maybe you don't walk, maybe you never walk anywhere, say why you don't do that. Okay, so don't complain about the topic, focus on producing good language. Okay, don't worry, oh, what topic will I get? It doesn't matter. Your language is what is important. If it's something that you don't know or you don't do, that doesn't matter because you can explain why you don't know about that or you don't do that type of activity. Focus on the language, not on the topic. Okay, so those are the 3 topics and questions in the examples that I have today. Remember, there are more examples for 2020 Part 1 questions. I also have examples of Part 2 topics that will be used this year. So look through the videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see when new videos pop up. And please like this video so other people can see it. And so I can spread the message and show more people about IELTS lessons. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.